Communication is vital to any working team. It creates a cohesive hive mind in which each member plays an important role. And without it, well...
You eat my poop.
So, communication is vital. We've established that. But how can we improve our communication skills? And more importantly, how can we work alongside potentially toxic teammates? This video will cover introspective topics that haven't been spoken about on YouTube. I'm going to start off with the more basic ones, and then as the video progresses, it'll get more and more advanced. But yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is pretty obvious, but it needs to be said. Use your mic. You need to actively communicate with your team at all times. Think of this, right? Here's a hand. This is the team. And each member is a finger. In order for us to clench into a fist, we're all going to have to work together in tandem. Refusing to use your mic makes it a lot harder for you and the team to win the game. For example, if a site is being rushed and no one comms it, not only are we going to have late rotations, but we're also going to feel tilted and trust the team less. Although, communication isn't just calling what you see. It's calling what you don't see, your suspicions, what you hear, actions you want to take. You get my point. It's a lot. You need to help the team as a collective discuss the round as a whole, instead of seeing 5 separate perspectives of the same thing. Because a round of Counter-Strike is an ongoing discussion. It isn't a reaction to the other team, it's many reactions from each individual and then piecing them together as a team to read the opponent's next move. And that's not possible without communicating. So, it's clear that a lot needs to be said each round, and 5 people can be a bit of a crowd. So we want to make sure we don't clutter the comms. Cluttered comms in most cases leads to an uncoordinated team who are unsure on what's even being said. Have you ever been on a team that had taken the game really seriously, but the communication is just erratic? It's a weird juxtaposition of professionalism and noob. Striking a balance is key. We need to say what needs to be said, but we also don't want to overwhelm or speak over our teammates. And in order to do this, we need to be clear and concise. And in order to learn what clear and concise is, let's think about what it isn't. Screaming and shouting every call isn't going to get your point across more efficiently. Ironically, it will make you harder to understand, and you run the risk of coming across as more immature. We need to be calm, collected, and straight to the point. Learning map callouts will help with this, but something more advanced is to abbreviate what you're saying. A word can mean a whole sentence, and developing a new vocabulary based in the game will make you well versed in communicating with your team. If you're calm, you'll be more informative and easier to understand. You can also control your cadence depending on the importance of your call. This will subconsciously assist your team in their instinct response to what you're saying. I learnt this lesson when I was playing with a lot of Finnish people. Their way of communicating is very calm and monotone, much like their culture. But this created a good atmosphere for CS. It would give me an extra layer of alertness when some shit really was going down, because I've never heard a Finnish man scream. The fluctuation in cadence can set your teammates' expectations of the importance for the call, so it's best to have a set baseline and not have a panic cadence all the time. As well as learning to stay calm, we also need to know when to take initiative, because there should be no gaps of uninterrupted silence. Let's take a 2vx situation for example. The second you get into that 2vx, you need to make a plan with your teammate. I've been in 5 stacks with my lower ranked mates before, and when they get in these positions, they just go really quiet and almost act like they're in separate 1vx's. And they know each other. Imagine if it was just some random. If you just don't know what to do, you should still tell your teammate. I've had countless times where I've been like, lad, I don't know what to do. It might not be the best call ever, but it at least provokes a response from your teammate and initiates the discussion. You know, I actually saw a comment on my recent video that was talking about a problem they have with communication. They say that they get too zoned in on their own game and don't hear what their teammates are calling from the other side of the map. This is a really good discussion point, and a lot of people don't realise they're doing it. There's a false sense of security that what your team is doing doesn't affect you, since it's on the other side of the map, but it does. This relates to what we were talking about earlier with seeing the round as a whole instead of 5 different perspectives. Remember the hand? Well, we have our job to do, but we also have to work in tandem, meaning that even the pinky and the thumb have to communicate. They might not start off on the same side of the hand, but by the end of the round, they're rather close together. Though, this specific problem with not hearing calls mainly comes down to your focus levels. You can mitigate this by playing a bit slower and focusing on one task at a time. Allow your mind to catch up with your actions. But with many things in life, there are pitfalls that must be avoided. And since communication is an interpersonal skill, we're going to have times of miscommunication. Now when I say that, most of us might think of calling the wrong spot or saying the wrong thing. But you can also have emotional miscommunication. Misinterpreting someone's intentions can make it seem like they're personally attacking you. And in order to avoid this, we have to be more empathetic. CS has a wide range of players, and we all come from different countries, speak different languages, and have different cultural backgrounds. So we need to understand each other. We are going to be faced with personalities that don't merge well. So we should be flexible in our communication style. If someone's more introverted, make the effort to talk to them directly. If someone has a good round, give the guy a compliment. You want your teammates to know that for the next 30 minutes, we are the boys and we're fucking having it. I think this notion of becoming a better person is absent in CS, and for such a mature game, we can sometimes have quite an immature community. You'll have a huge impact on your team by just lifting the vibe. If someone wants to be on the team, they're going to put more effort in and play better. Whereas if you're constantly scrutinizing the least impactful player, you're just going to make them feel uncomfortable and second guess their actions. So, in conclusion, communicate what you see and hear whilst also processing what your team are saying, and add it all together to initiate a discussion on the round as a whole, rather than just your perspective. I would also say be a better person here, but I know that all my little cherubs are cute little bundles of joy. And I want to thank you guys for the ongoing support. I'm so excited for the future and I couldn't be happier with the mini community we're building. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the comments.